Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 23rd. You have this rain card, it says gifts on it, and you have this desert breeze card, it says force on it. There could be some gifts coming in for you, Leo. A lot of your readings have kind of had this energy of like receiving gifts or, receiving some blessings that are kind of like long overdue for Leo. These are probably gifts or things that you've been working for or working towards. So, that wouldn't really surprise me, of course, but, it is what it is. You have the Four of Wands, the Emperor, and the Ace of Wands coming up in your first row for your current general energies. The Four of Wands can, of course, be marriage, and you do have the Emperor. So for those of you, I wouldn't really say this has to be love, of course, but if you are looking for love, this could definitely be a new connection that is coming in for you. Or, if you're already in a connection, by the way, this could be a connection that is coming in for you, and, that could lead to marriage. If you're already in a connection, like I said, it could be a connection, the connection you're in now could lead to marriage. So again, that looks pretty good. This is also a card of freedom. You do have the Tower, but the Tower is coming up in the area of the good stuff. And so the Tower is going to be positive. And you also have the Eight of Wands below the Tower, which is good in the good stuff. This would represent you kind of setting yourself free. Again, the Four of Wands is the card of freedom. These people, it's a finish line card. You have to cross through this finish line here, and you have to go celebrate with these people on the other side of these Four Wands to set yourself free. So I feel a lot of you could be setting yourself free from things that have held you back for a long time with the Four Wands. A lot of you could just be gaining in freedom in your life in general, and of course, that would be a good thing. I also feel like you're committing more to new directions, which is also good. You have the Emperor. The Emperor could be you literally attracting an Emperor and Empress into your life. Take it how it resonates. Could be either. And we have the Hierophant right next to it. And so the Hierophant is marriage. And, some of you, if you're with a person, you could be marrying this person. For others, like I said, I feel like you could be meeting a new person because you have the Page of Pentacles with the Tower. Again, the Tower and the good stuff would be like a surprise. So you could be meeting a person by surprise. You could also just be surprised that a person is interested in you. I don't know why you are, Leo. You shouldn't be, but again, maybe this could be like an admirer, or maybe it's a person you're interested in. Is where I'm going with this. Maybe you're interested in a person and you're finding out that they're also interested in you, which is weird, right? That never happens in life. Where no one that we are interested in is ever interested in us. So again, it could be one of those weird things. You have the Ace of Wands. So very fiery connection. Again, if this is love, then I feel that there will be a lot of desire. The whole entire reading basically says out with the new, out with the old, in with the new. You have the Ten of Swords in the Tower. It's like saying to me that the new is where your blessings are, basically, is what this reading is saying. The Ten of Swords is a blessing in disguise. The Tower, it's not really a blessing, but those people are entering into a new reality. And really, they will realize that it is a blessing over time. So I think the whole entire reading is saying that, kind of like starting anything new or stepping into new energies is really going to be a blessing for you, Leo. And the other thing that I'm getting here, Leo, also is creativity. The Ace of Wands is a very creative energy. And so, I think that you need to work more with your creative energies, or, work more on creative projects and things like that. And, that's basically what I would do with the Ace of Wands for sure. Let's see. With the Four of Wands, you have the Hangman. I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently, that some of you maybe have been trying to make decisions about what to commit to. This could be love, but it could be other things. The thing with the Hangman is that he's looking at things from a different perspective. He's hanging upside down. And so it's it kind of gives me the vibes that you have been trying to make a decision for a few, maybe months at this point. But he's gained the answers he needs. So now he knows what to commit to with that Four of Wands. And again, I'm not saying this has to be love for you, Leo. As a matter of fact, for some of you, clearly it is. But for others, it could be work, or, something that will speed your life up with the Eight of Wands coming up at the end, or something creative with the Ace of Wands. It could be a new job or new direction in life. And I feel like you've finally made up your mind. With the Emperor, you have the King of Swords. Yeah, probably someone that's older than you. There could be some sort of age gap here. King of Swords like has great discernment. I feel like this is a hard person to read though. King of Swords can be a little bit hard to read, at first, right? So it's like if this is a person that you already socialize with, which you have the Eight of Wands, so this could be like a friend or a person that you know already or something like that, and so they could just be hard to read. And that might be a clue for you, Leo, for those of you that are looking for love. I also think that this is just good for you, for using your discernment and your knowledge and wisdom. I've been saying this to you for months, Leo, for years, actually. I think Leos are going to be using their knowledge in a different way. And I've been, like, I wish I had better examples for you, Leo, but, like, if I were a Leo, that this is basically what I would be thinking, is, like, how can I use my skills in a different way to get a bigger result in life. So, like, for example, and sorry, my leg is asleep, so I just have to move. I sit like a 4-year-old with my legs crossed, so usually my legs fall asleep when I'm doing these readings. Probably really bad for circulation, but so don't do that. But what I would also say is that I've been getting this message, like, I do videos, obviously. It's like I could probably do other videos that would get even more views if I wanted to, right? And maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I already do, because I have some top secret channels that no one has ever found, which is crazy, but there you go. But what I would say here, but my face isn't on them. That's why you don't know that it's me. But my voice is the same as well, Leo, so there you go. But what I would say is that I think that the King of Swords is like, you could use your skills in a different industry or with something else, and that's what I would be doing with that card. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is like resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. It seems to be an amazing healing week for whatever reason. Part of me thinks that the next year and a half is going to be a healing time because we have Jupiter in Cancer. Very good for healing energy and nurturing energy. And you might be saying there's all this craziness in the world and war and things like that. It's like, yes, true. But again, I know it's not a good answer, but the best answer I can give people is that, Louise Hay used to say that if you had, if you were cleaning your house and you had a bunch of dirt on your floor, but you couldn't see it, how could you clean it up? And it's like, so that's why sometimes, yes, it looks horrible. There are terrible things happening, but sometimes we have to see the issue to fix it. And, again, I do think things will be improving over time. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says it's time to release negativity. You have this emotions are running high card. There you go. So I definitely, and I would be very careful of your emotions here, Leo. Again, I've been talking about this because I spent, basically a couple weeks ago, I spent the entire week at the doctor's office. I had some sort of issue going on, right? And so I've had all these tests over the past couple weeks. My arm's bruised because, which you probably can't see it, because I've had about 13 gallons of blood taken out and all this other stuff. And you know what the weird thing is? There's nothing wrong with me. That's the annoying thing, right? And but the funny thing is that emotionally there have been some things going on in my life, right? And I finally realized, I'm like, no, this isn't physical. This is more emotional, right? And so I've had to make some changes, and I feel a million times better. I feel like $1 million today, actually. So that's the good news. I'm not going to die anytime soon, but. What I would say is, and for like a semi-fat ass, actually, I'm pretty healthy. If I can brag about that one. But what I would say here is that I think where was I going with that? I don't know. I went on a weird rant there. It's the blood loss is really what it is. So I apologize. But again, I would keep an eye on your emotions. Is where I was going with that. I would make sure to stay healthy. I would make sure to not allow your emotions to make you feel sick or any of that other stuff. You have the Three of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Justice card. Three of Cups is a card of celebration. Again, I think it's an amazing time for people to socialize. And you go down to the Eight of Wands, which is one of my other socializing cards. But also, we're talking about socializing with those concentrated connections. People who really come from that place of wanting to lift you up. And as long as you are spending time with those types of people, there will probably be a lot of reasons to celebrate. These three ladies are celebrating a harvest, and I do feel a lot of you could be celebrating a harvest at this time as well with that card. You have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a blessing, so he is blessing these two people in front of him. I kind of feel like this is saying that you have some blessed ideas, but you need to bring those ideas down to earth. Again, the Hierophant, he communicates with heaven and earth. On a personal level, he can represent you needing to take those messages and bring them down to earth. And I feel like that needs to happen for you, Leo, with that card. You have the Justice card. Justice is like cause and effect, and we really need to pay attention to cause and effect with justice, meaning if we put energy into something, do we get energy out of it? Now, this is critically important right now because we have all this energy in Aries, and you might be saying, what the hell does Aries have to do with this card? Well, this is Libra, the opposite sign of Aries, so whenever we have major planets going through a sign, I believe we should be paying attention to both. We should be paying attention to the opposite as well, because that's how astrology works, because I said so, Leo. But I would be paying attention to cause and effect big time, especially, over the next few years at least. With the Three of Cups, you have the Queen of Swords. Another kind of weird message here that some of you could be getting an answer as to like why someone left your life. And I think this could have been a friend or just a person. It doesn't have to be a lover, but some of you, if you have lost a friend over the last few years or something, you could be getting some answers about that. With the Hierophant, you have the Three of Swords. I think that you need to heal here for sure. We talked about health here, and I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but Three of Swords is about forgiveness and practicing forgiveness. Same thing with the Ten of Swords here. If someone stabbed you in the back, we've talked about this before, Leo. I think over the past few years, you've definitely probably experienced people stabbing you in the back. I'm not saying you have to say this is okay to that person or anything like that, but, Three of Swords is just about forgiving those people in your heart and letting it go so you can move forward. And again, it's definitely something I would pay attention to. With the Justice card, you have the Six of Wands. Yeah, card of success. Yeah, the more you pay attention to what's working, the better. Again, justice is cause and effect, and the Six of Wands is a victory. If we just pay attention to what's working and we double down on what's working, then things will probably work better. And I know it sounds crazy, but literally it works. I literally have spent I wish I could get this point across. I'm not even kidding. I was a straight D student. I fell on my head when I was 10 years old, right? And I was a straight D student all the way through school. I went to summer school every year in high school basically for algebra, which I never passed. How they let me graduate, I have no freaking clue, right? I'm not a genius. When I was younger, I had a business making a ton of money where all I would do is I would go into businesses and I would say, double down on this. I would literally I would look at their numbers, I would look at what they were doing and all this other stuff. I would see what was working and I would say, you just need to pay attention to what works right here, right? This is working. Do that again, literally. And I got paid handsomely to do that, right? And again, changed my life, right? I still do it today. I work with people on YouTube. Literally, I do the same thing. I say, this video right here, do that again. And people are always like, I can create this twice. I'm like, yes, why not? And guess what? It works, right? So again, sometimes I think that we don't realize that we can repeat a success. And that is what that looks like to me. That looks like to me, you just need to repeat something again. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Truth Be Told card and this Building Blocks card. Again, like I said with that Queen of Swords, there could be some sort of truth coming in from a person. They could be telling you the real reason they left or why they did something or whatever. So that's going to be true for some of you. For others, I feel like this could be happiness that you could have, if you lived your own truth. So I think that it's kind of time for Leo to express their truth or to express something that will make them happy. And the Building Blocks card is one of my favorite cards in this deck. Those blocks are falling around that lady and she's being lifted up kind of on this pedestal. And so a lot of you could have an opportunity to be lifted up, but I think you have to take that opportunity with this card. You have the Ten of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. The Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with here, Leo. I definitely feel it's time for out with the old, in with the new. especially with that Ace of Wands showing up in your reading. I also feel this is saying like a new beginning will have blessings for you, and or it's like something new is the thing that is the blessing. And I'm not trying to say that you're like finding a treasure chest or something, although it might feel like it. But what I am saying is like something new coming in for you really is going to bring you some, pretty big blessings there. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, like a new beginning coming in for you, like I already said. Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness. So anything new that you are working on, I would definitely learn as much as you can about it. I also think that this card is saying, you have some cards here. We go up to the Five of Swords here. And you literally cannot make it up. You always get the Five of Swords with me in the area of the good stuff. So I think that there's some sort of risk that you should take with something new. But what it is like not knowing. That's what I feel. Sometimes with the Page of Pentacles, we can be working on a new project, new business, new idea, and we can be a little bit hesitant because we just don't know what to do. But it's like no one knows what to do at the beginning. And I think that's what you need to realize here, Leo, is that if you're starting something new or thinking about starting something new, it's like obviously we can't know everything up front, so don't be afraid of something new is kind of what that card is saying to me, to you. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, of course, but the Seven of Swords, he is doing something in a different way. And so everybody gets this card this year, and I just think that really it's probably Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius wants us to innovate, and the Seven of Swords wants you to innovate. He's stealing the swords from an army in the background there. And again, I think that anything you're working on, any like innovative, unique perspectives or any unique ways that you can do things, would be really good with this card. It's also a card that says, do not take things too seriously. He has these polka dots on his cloak. And the polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously, needing to be more playful. And so I think it would be a good time for you to be more playful. Here you go. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Lovers. I think you need to get out of your head, especially those of you that do want love, right? So if you want love, I feel like you need to get out of the mindset that everybody is going to hurt you or everybody's going to stab you in the back. I think that there's a very good connection here for you, Leo, but I kind of feel the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords is about needing to release the old story in love or needing to release what the last person did for you. Because again, clearly something is trying to hatch in your life. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords. Things can be different, is what the Two of Swords says. She is thinking this or that. It's a card of being stuck in a stalemate. She thinks that things can only go two ways, and she's protecting her heart with those swords because she doesn't want her heart to get hurt. But she needs to realize that not everything goes the same, or not everything has two sides, right? Sometimes there's something else, that island behind her, and that's what she needs to realize. So I think that if you are attracting love, you need to realize this is different. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, number one. Three of Pentacles is also about, like, taking the lead in life. I mean, you're a freaking Leo. Leo is meant to learn how to claim their crown. That is the whole point of your life, Leo, is that you are meant to create your, get your crown. It's kind of funny because one time an astrologer said to me, they're like, your family, my whole family is Leos, right? Like, my whole entire family, I'm just surrounded by Leos, my brother, my dad, everybody. And they were like, isn't it funny that you're like the one that like became famous, out of all these Leos? Because Leos are like the ones that usually become famous, right? And I'm just like a little old fish in a house full of cats. So, but that's the thing, is that Leos are meant to do something to claim their crown, right? And I think that's what you have been working on for maybe like 2 or 3 years now, Leo. And I don't know, looks good to me. I mean, I think you're going to get there. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Believe card. It says, when you wholeheartedly embrace the attainability of your dreams, you will find the courage to exceed the ordinary. There you go. You have this Entitlement card. It says, why do you believe that you deserve benefits and privileges that you haven't earned or worked for? I feel like you have earned this. It's coming up in the good stuff. So I don't think you are entitled at all. I think you are entitled in a good way to something that is beyond the ordinary, as this Believe card says. But I think you have to believe it. It's like you are meant for great things, Leo, but you have to believe that you are meant for great things. You have the Five of Swords, the Tower, and the Eight of Wands. Yeah, Five of Swords can represent separation or walking away from something, but in the good stuff, it can represent taking a risk. I think you are getting about to take like a big risk in life, Leo. It's like you've been preparing for this for a long time. And obviously it comes up in every single reading. And I'm not trying to be clickbaity here, but I do literally feel this risk will probably change your reality. There's something about it. It's like, I feel like I've said this to you before, that like whatever you're about to do or whatever risk you're about to take, it's like it will change your life. But I mean in a bigger way. Like, it's like, sometimes I think we do something, it does change our life, but it's like, then other times I think we do something and it changes our life like more than we thought possible. Like, we get into a really good relationship and, maybe it has like other side effects that go along with it that we didn't really kind of anticipate. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. I'm not saying it's love. I'm just using that as an example. This could be like maybe you're thinking about moving. And, that's like another one. It's like usually we move and nothing changes, right? It's like, when I was younger, which I can't believe it was like 10 years ago now, practically, that I moved to Seattle. And, I moved from Connecticut all the way across the country to Seattle. And, but the weird thing is when I moved there, it's like nothing changed. Nothing felt different. It's like, yeah, I was in a different place, but I felt like everything was the same, And recently I've moved to a new top secret location where I am right now. And I actually feel different, which is weird. And that's what I'm talking about here with the Tower, is that, again, I think for some of you, there's like a change coming that actually feels different. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick success or a quick conclusion. And, again, I think there could be a lot more success coming in for you, Leo. I also feel like this could be good news coming in for you. With the Tower, it could be like surprising good news. The Tower and the good stuff can be a good surprise. Yep, with the Five of Swords, you have the Death card. Total change, like I already said. I mean, basically fits in very well with the reading, the Death card. So there's like some sort of big change or big transition going on here. With the Tower, you have the Ten of Wands. I think you're making your life easier. There could be like little things with that Ten of Swords that hold you back in some way. It's like, sometimes I think the Ten of Swords with the Ten of Wands can be like these little burdens, these little things that we don't really realize slow us down. And like I was saying, like, certain emotional feelings or, certain things that we haven't processed or certain things that we need to learn. But, it's like these little things, can add up, I think, sometimes and can really slow us down. And maybe that's what you're realizing with these cards, is that there are just kind of like some little things that need to be cleaned up. And it's like the second you clean them up, you will be set free. Here we go. With the with the Eight of Wands, you have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround, meaning that we've been bumping up against an obstacle, and then when we get the Six of Cups, we can experience some sort of turnaround in our life. So I do feel like things could be turning around for you. This is also one of my cards of like a soulmate. So for those of you that want love, definitely could be a very strong connection that is coming in for you, and I think it will make you very happy here, Leo. You have this funnel card. It says period of frustration, lessons to be learned. I think that's what you've been dealing with for a very long time. I do feel like you are setting yourself free from these frustrations and like things are improving. So I feel pretty good about this. You have this bouquet. It says compliments from an admirer. What do you know? Of course, we've been talking about it the whole time. So, definitely could be like some sort of admirer flirting with you or something like that. So you might want to prepare for that. But there you go. You have this woman. It says dealings with relationships with a woman. And then I always clarify these people cards. You have this frying pan. It says trouble, accusations. Yeah, I would be careful of people. Remember what I said about being stabbed in the back. I definitely feel Leo has experienced stabbed in the back energy for years. And, it doesn't have to be a woman either. This is a general reading, so it could be any gender. But I would be careful of anyone from the past. It's like, again, it might be a good time to, like, forgive and move on and be done with it. You have this bridge. It says successfully overcoming a problem. There you go. So if you are having any issues or problems, I feel like you will be overcoming them. And finally, you have this flowers card. It says happiness on it. And clearly, there is happiness coming in for you, Leo. Pretty straightforward reading. I like it. So thank you for being here, Leo. And definitely enjoy your week.